Hello there, I'm Liesl from Langmaster Learning System. For today's video, I'd like you to continue practicing your listening skills with the famous story. I think you'll like it. Before starting, please subscribe to our channel and listen carefully. Now let's begin. A widower merchant lives in a mansion with his children. All his daughters are very beautiful, but the youngest daughter was named Little Beauty or Belle, for she was the most gorgeous among them all. The merchant eventually loses all of his wealth in a tempest at sea, which sinks most of his merchant fleet. He and his children are consequently forced to live in a small cottage in a forest and work for a living. While Belle was still happy with the rural life, her sisters are not. Some years later, the merchant hears that one of the trade ships he had sent has arrived back in port. Before leaving, he asks his children if they wish for him to bring any gifts back for them. His oldest daughters ask for clothing, jewels, and the finest dresses possible, as they think that his wealth has returned. Belle asks for nothing but her father to be safe. But when he insists on buying her a present, she is satisfied with the promise of a rose, as none grow in their part of the country. During his return, the merchant becomes lost during a vicious storm. Seeking shelter, he comes upon a castle. Seeing that no one is home, the merchant sneaks in and finds tables inside laden with food and drink, which seem to have been left for him by the castle's invisible owner. The next morning, the merchant sees a rose garden and recalls that Belle had desired a rose. He quickly plucks the loveliest rose he can find and is about to pluck more to create a bouquet. But then he is confronted by a hideous beast who tries to kill him for stealing his most precious possessions, the roses. The merchant begs to be set free, revealing that he had only picked the rose as a gift for his youngest daughter. The beast agrees to let him give the rose to Belle, but only if the merchant brings one of his daughters to take his place without deception. The beast sends him on his way with wealth, jewels, and fine clothes for his sons and daughters. The merchant, upon arriving home, hands Belle the rose she requested and informs her that it had a terrible price. Before relaying what had happened during his absence, Belle willingly decides to go to the beast's castle, and the following morning she and her father set out by a magical horse that the beast has provided them. The beast receives her with great ceremony. He gives her lavish clothing and food and carries on lengthy conversations with her. Every night the beast asks Belle to marry him, only to be refused each time. After each refusal, Belle dreams of a handsome prince with whom she begins to fall in love. For several months, Belle lives a life of luxury at the beast's castle, having every whim catered to, with no end of riches to amuse, and an endless supply of exquisite finery to wear. Eventually, she becomes homesick and begs the beast to allow her to go see her family again. He allows it on the condition that she returns exactly 2 months later. She agrees and returns to her family at once. Her older sisters are surprised to find her well-fed and dressed in finery, and their old jealousy quickly returns. When the 2 months have passed and she is back in the castle, Belle finds the beast near death in a cave on the grounds. Seeing this, Belle is anxious, realizing that she loves him. That night, she agrees to marry him, and when she wakes up to him, she finds that the beast has transformed into the unknown prince from her dreams. The prince tells her his story, that his father died when he was young, and his mother had to wage war to defend his kingdom. The queen left him in the care of an evil fairy who tried to seduce him when he became an adult. When he refused, she transformed him into a beast. Only by finding true love, despite his ugliness, could the curse be broken. He and Belle are married, and they live happily ever after together. That's all for today. Did you enjoy listening to this story? Leave a comment on which story you want to listen to next. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And if you want to know more about our English courses, please leave your phone number and your email address in the comment box below. I'm Liesl from Langmaster Learning System. See you later.